Yesterday, I was having a conversation with someone who said that they were interested in studying crystals and oracle cards, affirmation or tarot cards, esoteric type things or metaphysical things. And they were in the process of studying crystals, but family and friends were telling them that all of those things were evil. Let's unpack this for a minute. Before we get started, in case you don't know who I am TJ Sykes, and I am your soul integration advocate. I love sharing insight to help you expand your mind, heal your body, and feed your soul. And I love this because it helps with healing, it helps with wellness and harmony, it helps you understand oneness, it helps you explore more of your own higher self. Okay. And what we do here, it's everything is high vibrational frequency of pure divine unconditional love and light. And I serve the light. Okay. So we can get that out of the way. So I find it interesting because, okay, my background, I am Christian background, Baptist. That was the family. That's how I was raised. And I too was told that these types of things were evil, or there was some suspicion around them being evil. I've heard it over and over and over again from many a Christian, okay? And this particular person was, I think she said that her background was Catholic and her family friends Christian and things like that. And so, what I want to say about this first is we have to remember that there is a front door and a back door to most, if not everything. How many things have been used for bad and then alchemized and then later used for good? How many things are meant and with intent were intended for good, but were used for bad? The first one that comes to mind is the Bible. I mean, in theory, it was created for good, right? But people have been using it time and time and time again for centuries for bad. Okay, there are several examples I can give, but the one that I feel like everyone can resonate with is the fact that when people read it, they interpret divisiveness. They interpret fear. They interpret judgment. Okay. And I feel like there's beauty throughout the pages of that book. I have not yet completed my research on the Bible, why it started, when it started, who actually put it together, why is the King James Version edited, and all of those things, why were books taken out, and why were certain keywords taken out of different scriptures. I have not yet dived all the way into that rabbit hole, and that's not what this is about, but that's just to give you an idea of how things start off good and people can take it and interpret it different ways or use it for things that are very much so less than good. Okay. So let's start there. Now, as far as the crystals, let's start with crystals. Crystals, if the person, their concern is, okay, these aren't used for light, they have to also remember that crystals are mentioned throughout the Bible in various scriptures, including Aaron's breastplate. So my question has always been when people would say that is, are you reading the scripture, the Bible? And if you are, do you understand what you're reading? And if you are reading it and understanding it, is it really that you don't believe it? Okay, so there's that aspect of it. The other piece is oracle cards and affirmation cards. I'm familiar with those. Not really familiar with tarot. I have not dove deep into tarot because that's just something that doesn't resonate with me. But what I would suggest, if any or all of these things resonate, first sit with each one of them. Sit with them first and feel how that feels in your body. Is this something that you want to continue to learn, expand on, and bring into your experience? And I have this in my hand because I'm pretending like it's a crystal. But, I'm holding it, in my mind. It's like, okay, how do I feel about this thing? Do I really want to work with it? Is it something that I feel that I need? And just allow yourself to tell you yes or no. If you answer yes, then what I would suggest is that you research all for yourself. Read, study that thing front to back, and then back to front, and then all over again. Okay? Because what I want you to do is to be very confident when you speak about and educate other people about these things. If they have questions or if they happen to question it, then you can actually, with confidence, educate them on what it is, what it really is, why you do it, and how it works. Okay? A lot of the people that say these things about crystals don't even realize that they've been working with crystal energy forever. If they've worn a shred of jewelry, gold, copper, sterling silver, titanium, if they wore rubies, diamonds, emeralds, sapphires, those things are crystal energy. If they did not wear any of those, are they using a cell phone, a smartphone? Are they wearing watches? Did they wear diamonds? Are they watching a flat screen TV? Did they get any x-rays? Do they live in a home that has copper pipes? Now, I've heard people who are Christians say, well, I will wear the jewelry, but I am not going to work with it as a crystal. If you feel that it is evil, then why would you even touch it at all? Why would you bring it into your life? Why would you bring it into your auric field at all? Because the thing is going to be the thing regardless. Okay? And the other piece of this is crystals. We work with crystal energy, just Mother Earth. The Earth's core is a giant dodecahedron crystal. And so I like to tell people to ground themselves when they go to ground themselves or to heal, to go out in nature. And one of my favorite things to do is to go barefoot and put my feet in grass or on the concrete, or even put my hands on a tree or something, because that energy is coming from the Earth's core and it is healing. We are nature. If you look at the animals outside, we're no different. We're in these buildings. We've created these walls for ourselves. We've created these shoes for ourselves. But the thing is, that's a disconnect that we created. Okay, and so we go back to what I was saying about the Bible. There's a lot of things that have people feeling separate from the presence that's never absent, separate from the divine, whatever you call that energy. I call it the divine source energy, Holy Spirit, God, whatever you call this big, beautiful, opulent, intelligent, divine energy. People believe that they are separate from it, and that is false. And so that again takes me back to how good things, okay, are used for bad, used to make you think that you're separate from this beautifulness, this opulence, make you think that you're separate, therefore you're unworthy, make you fear things that you don't have to fear, make you look outside of yourself to be saved from something, by something, when really it's all within you. All right, so that's just another example of how people use good things for bad. And everyone, most of us have been conditioned in this way. That's part of the reason why we have to unpack all of the things when it comes to manifesting and all of the blockages that we have when it comes to money blockages and love, bringing love into our lives, our health, all of the things. Okay, so I say that. Now, in terms of back to the oracle and affirmation and tarot cards, I don't know much about the tarot cards, so therefore I have not studied them. And the reason I don't know much about them because I don't resonate with them. Therefore, I have not yet studied them. And I feel like it's probably because there is quite a bit to study and learn, really master the tarot card thing compared to oracle cards, which are very much more straightforward. And with oracle cards and affirmation cards that you can actually do yourself, you can write out 3 to 5 affirmations on some pieces of paper, and then every day ask yourself, shuffle them around and ask yourself, your higher self, okay, which one of these, what do I need to keep in mind for the day? How should I interact with people today? What should I put in the forefront? What do I need to know today? All right. And your higher self will pick the card or the affirmation paper that you need. Okay. You can even put, if you're into holistic healing, you could put like 4 different teas on some paper and shuffle them around and say, which tea does my body need today? And work with that tea, work with the energy of those herbs and things like that. And your higher self knows better. So with the affirmation cards and the oracle cards, you're working with your own energy and you're simply connecting with your higher self. Okay, your team of light, you're connecting with that. Now, there are some people who read for other people, and in which case you're connecting with their higher self, their higher consciousness, their team of light. It's just energy. Okay, so you're working with their energy, and I presume that the tarot is the same. Now, what I would say is what I do steer clear from is the future, asking questions about the future, or, people telling the future. And I think that may be what people are talking about when they say tarot and oracle cards are all evil. Because in what I surmise from it, in the world according to TJ, the reason why this is not really something that people should do is because you don't have the future. What you have is now. So focusing on something that you don't have will have you missing out on what you do have. Like when you think about it, the future is right now. No one told you that you have the next 60 seconds or the next week or the next year. You are supposed to be harnessed in and creating your life in the present. And that is, I think, where people might misinterpret, okay, the fortune tellers and the soothsayers. Because the thing is, at any point, you can alter anyone can alter their future just by making a decision that's different from what you would have made a second ago, a nanosecond ago. There's an infinite amount of decisions that you can make right now on a dime. And so to now have, asking questions about the future or have your fortune told and things like that about the future how should I put this? What you do now can alter that. And if you're not focusing on now and you're focusing on those things, then you're missing everything that you need to be doing. You're missing parts of your mission as your soul. Okay. Your soul knows why you are here. And so keep the main thing the main thing. So I think that's what people might be misinterpreting when it comes to that, but you're just working with your own energy. And with the oracle cards, and say if you made yourself some affirmation cards, that's just another practical way to connect with your higher self and with your higher knowing and your team of light until you develop your other gifts. Okay. Or this might be the main way that you connect. This is how you can get the information and you can write the notes down like, okay. And again, like I said before in other videos, what you damns you back. So whatever you do, it has to be done with the intention for your highest good and the highest good of all, or else you're barking up the wrong tree and you're going to be asking for trouble. That's the other thing that people have to know. If you want to say something is evil, then you have to, I wouldn't say if you want to say something is evil, but in order for something to be evil, that has to be the intention. Okay. If you think about back in the day when people, our ancestors were being burnt at the stake and being called witches, because what were they doing? They were mixing up salves and herbs and oils and elixirs for healing, but they were being called witches. And just because they said you're a witch. But then there were people who were working in that darkness. So again, there's a front door and a back door to a lot of things. So most important, sit with yourself, make a decision. And if these are family and friends and they have a concern about you working in these things, then just meet them where you both meet together. You don't have to discuss these things with them. Discuss the things with people who are of like minds, who have the same interests. Okay. If it's not in your local town, then maybe, like online, like you're here on YouTube, maybe there's some Facebook groups you can join, things like that. Just really look into that, see how you can connect, and also like deepen and develop your understanding of all the things. Also, you're going to find out, and I've already seen it. I've told my mother this a couple years ago. All this stuff that I talk about, this metaphysical stuff, this esoteric stuff, the crystals, all the things, you're going to see them talking about it on mainstream. I've already seen people mentioning stuff on daytime TV. I mean, even back in the day when you look at like the old classic series, they make mention of these different things. I remember I was watching I Love Lucy and Andy Griffith. They made mention of these things on those shows. Couldn't really talk about it back then. It was like really, really hush hush. Now people are getting more bold. More people are opening up. More people are waking up to themselves and to what's available to them. Okay. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier with the crystals. Crystals have been around for centuries. Our ancient ancestors have been working with crystals since the days of old, okay? And crystals have been here actually before man, many of them. And so they hold a lot of wisdom and information to help us with healing. If we want to use them for that, healing of our physical, mental, and emotional, spiritual, or for, medicine. And to me, I think people have to understand too, they're just tools like anything else. Hammer and nails. What do you use a tool? In physics, a tool is something that you use to help you get the job done faster, okay, or easier. And it's the same difference. I look at crystals because most of them come from nature. I look at them like I look at fruit, vegetables, and herbs. You can choose to have the fruit or not. You can choose to have the herbs or not. You can choose to have the vegetables or not. And with crystals, they're tools, hammers, like hammers and screwdrivers. You can choose to work with the hammer and screwdriver or not. Choices are yours.